It was a game that was supposed to feature a helicopter display to begin with, and that was canceled due to an emergency, and folks find the chopper had to take that thing to an emergency event. So here's the highlight. It is the football matchup between the Panthers of Excel and your Admirals of Bayside Academy. Hi, everybody. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage. And thanks so much to Excel. They have given us a spot here right adjacent to the press box to be able to watch the coverage. I was going to try to get you a clock in, but I realized very early that was going to be an issue. So we're going to take the clock out of the picture. I will try to keep you updated on time as the opening drive of the football game gets underway from the 35-yard line. Big ball game between these two because you win it in your Bayside and you have guaranteed a home spot in postseason play. You lose it and you are Bayside, you've still got an opportunity to play a playoff game at home to begin the year, but you've got to depend upon a win over T.R. Miller in the regional conference final. Gain of a couple of yards brings up a 2nd down and 8. It is going to be difficult to pick up the numbers of the Panthers. They are wearing specialized jerseys recognizing the U.S. military, and they're dark. Dark jerseys, relatively dark numbers. We'll see if we can pick them up at some point and let you know who is doing what in this one. Third down and 5, first third down of the football game. At the 40-yard line. Onto the turf from the sidelines. Bringing the play into the huddle now is Holden Stacy, the cornerback, the 5'10", 165-pounder. Looking at a 3rd down and 6. Line of scrimmage, the 40. Around the right side, and there is not enough for the first. It'll be a 4th down, and the Bayside Admirals have held on the opening drive of the football game, and barring an infraction or a fumble, Bayside will have the football. And depending upon the kick, we'll see what kind of field position. Holden Stacy, the cornerback, is your up back. Couple of Admirals that typically start not starting tonight, as Kane will await the kick, take it at the 39, makes his way to the 40, still on his feet, across the 45 to near the 47-yard line. And it'll be a 1st down and 10, Bayside. Brendan Yamani getting his first start of the year. That's because Cade Lyons is right up here next to us, manning a camera tonight. Hopes to be back next week. Sam Cunningham is out as well for Bayside. So a couple of key injuries to the Admirals coming into a very significant game. Pardon from one side of the line to the other. Miller with a handoff to Yamani. Yamani banging his way up the middle for 2, maybe 3. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and long. Yamani sat out the first half of the season with the ankle injury. In now, picks up 2, 2nd and 8, football at the 49. 3 and out for the Panthers on their opening drive of the game. 9:41 to play in the opening quarter. Give goes to Yamani, and he'll be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. So no gain for Yamani, and forcing what you would think is a passing situation, but we'll see for Bo Miller. Bringing up a 3rd down and 8. Yamani in the backfield, anticipating Miller to toss. Couple of receivers to this side, one to the opposite. You got Anderson, you've got Parton to this side. To the opposite side is Wilkinson. It is dumped off to Yamani, and Yamani is going to get to the 48. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down, and both teams have had an opportunity offensively and neither able to produce. This, by the way, is the longest running series for Bayside Academy. They have played Excel 18 times. And you look at one stat sheet and it says they've won 16 of the 18. You look at the other and it says they've won 17 of the 18. If they did lose 2 to the Panthers, it was in back-to-back years. On a 4th down and 9, and there's all kinds of movement. And I'm thinking that's going to go against Bayside, and they'll be moved back 5. And it is an illegal procedure, false start. And Bayside marches back 5, 8:17 to play in the opening quarter. T.R. Miller coming in 5-0, Bayside 4-0 in the region. Hillcrest 3-2, XL 2-2. High end over end kick. And it will hit at about the 38, and that is where XL will take over their second offensive series of the opening stanza.
39-yard line as XL takes over 1st and 10.
So Bayside in, no matter what happens the rest of the way as far as postseason is concerned, but that wouldn't satisfy Bayside. They would like to not only be in, but be home. And to be home, you got to be 1 or 2. Second drive of the night for the Panthers. Football at the 38. And not a whole lot of running room.
Andrew McCann's on the run, gain of about 2 yards, yard and a half. Bring up 2nd down.
McCann picking up a couple of yards, given his forward progress. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. Gorgeous night here in XL, Alabama. Finally some cool weather. Well, I say finally. It was kind of cool last Friday night, too. But cool enough tonight to, wear long pants and a vest to keep a little bit warm. McCann on the carry to the right side. It is stretched out by the Panthers. And 2 by the Admirals, who will bring McCann down for maybe 2 more yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6. Let's go with the PA guy. He says 3rd and 8. Sounds a little better than a 3rd and 6. 7:11 left to play in the opening stanza. T.R. Miller and Tuscaloosa Academy. All that's left for Bayside Academy this year. That in itself, hard to believe. I'm thinking that we just started football season maybe a week or 2 ago. 3 at the most. But it was back in August. 3rd down, 8. And McCann's going nowhere. So XL with 2 drives, no first down. Bayside with 1 drive and no first downs. And we are not quite halfway through the stanza. Darius Gray set to boot it away. And again, it is Noah Kane who drifts back to receive. He stands at his 30. Kane going to let it roll. It will go out of bounds inside the 30. And the 28-yard line, the line of scrimmage for the second drive of the night for Bayside Academy. And reminder, at halftime, we talk with Caleb Hall, the wrestling coach at Bayside Academy, and the director of facilities and maintenance. That's coming up at halftime. Did I thank XL for access to their internet? If I didn't, let me. Miller with a pitch to Yamani. And Yamani will pound it forward to the 35, gain of 7.
Braden Yamain with a run to the right side for a gain of
And it will bring up a second down, and we'll call it 3. 6 minutes into the quarter, still looking for our first down of the football game. Miller, one pass. It was a screen to Yamani. This give to Yamani, and Panthers ran it perfectly, wrapped him up behind the line of scrimmage, loses 2, maybe 3. And it'll bring up a third down.
Tackle for loss of Mason Gerwin and Kirby Sermon. Third down.
So a third down, we'll call it 6. Football of the 33. Bayside trying to break the ice here, be the first with the first. Miller looking over the middle. It is incomplete, intended for Miles Uter.
Pass is incomplete. Fourth down.
And both teams have had an opportunity. As a matter of fact, 2 opportunities. And both teams going 3 and out. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 6, a punting situation. Nathan Iman ready to boot it away. And I believe that it's McCann back to receive. Got a whistle. And I do not see the flag yet, but I'm assuming there is one. No, a sideline warning. So no mark off. It'll be 4th down and 6 still. And that may be Anthony Hayes back to receive. Hayes, the 6'2 running back. That's not a 253-pounder, though. So on a 4th down and 6, Ivan to kick. Another one of those end-over, relatively short kicks. And as a matter of fact, hits at about the exact same spot near the 38. This one will trickle down to the 35, and that is where XL takes over 1st down and 10. Bayside Academy trying to improve that overall mark to 7-1. And head into the T.R. Miller game riding a 7-game win streak. Got to get past the Panthers, though. There is a little bit of a bobble of the football, but a false start prior. And it'll be a 5-yard mark off against XL. XL coming in with a 2-2 record, with Monroe County the lone opponent left. So if they were to win tonight, and you assume next week, they would finish 4-2. But Bayside would prefer not to be thinking about an XL win. Looking to assure that home playoff spot tonight. Stacy around the end. And he'll get the penalty yardage back and a yard or 2. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8. But there is a flag. And that's where you see holding often, and that's what we're going to get here, a hold. So a 10-yard mark off from the point of infraction. Typically the flag is about that point of infraction. Let's see. Well, XL is where an NFL Hall of Famer played his high school football. And I got a feeling the guys up here do not even begin to know the name Leroy Jordan of the Dallas Cowboys. He played for XL in 1958 and then went to the University of Alabama. Penalty yardage, shoving XL back inside the 20. Little gain on the carry by Stacy.
Brings up 2nd down.
And it'll bring up a second down and long. Looks like it's about a second and maybe 25. Football on the 21-yard line. To pick up the first, they've got to get to the 45. 4:10 to go. Opening stanza of play here at XL. McCann on the carry. Right up the middle. And just not a whole lot there. He'll pick up about 5, but needed about 25. And it'll bring up a third down and 20. Well, I wonder if the fact that the ball hasn't been put upstairs yet by XL is an indication that they are not particularly confident in their pass game. We'll see if they do here on a 3rd and 20.
Third down.
If you are running it on a 3rd and 20, then you may have a non-existent pass game. Let's see. And they are running it. McCann trying to get around the edge, and the Admirals will string it out, drop him 11 yards shy of a first. And it is a 4th down and 11. And here we go again. A punt and an Admiral set to return. That Admiral is Kane. And you've got another 3 and out. That's become the theme here in the first. Line drive, returnable kick, but it wobbles off to the side. And Kane will let it go out of bounds near the 41. Well, now it's the Admirals' opportunity to try to get that offense unwound and cranked up. Their 3rd offensive drive of the first stanza. First down and 10, line of scrimmage, the 41-yard line. Miller will keep it. He'll be dropped and lose 3, maybe 4, possibly 5, depending on the spot on the football.
Tackle for loss. 2nd and 13 to 14. 2nd and 14.
They're going to give him a loss of 4, brings up a 2nd down and 14. Well, here in the opening stanza, I don't know if we can blame it on ineffective offenses. It may be the very effective defenses that are contributing to the 3 and outs. Hand off to Yamani, and Yamani able to get back to the original line of scrimmage and then some to the 45-yard line. And turns it into a manageable 3rd down and right at 6, maybe 7.
That game was for about 7 yards. Going to bring up 3rd and 6.
Football of the 45. Neither team has been in the other team's territory. Everything for Bayside playing on this side of the 50, everything for XL on the other side of midfield. Miller to pass. Steps up, fires, and it is caught. What a nice one-handed grab by Uter inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. All right, I'm going to go back a few years again. How about a Fred Bolitnikoff stick him on the glove? I mean, you know, Fred Bolitnikoff, Raiders, Kenny Stabler. Stick him on the gloves. Man, he'd reach up, snag one. Uter looked like he had something. Don't think he did, but man, what a catch by Uter. First trip inside the opposing team's territory. First down in the football game. And now back-to-back completions. One to Uter and this one to Anderson. And the Anderson pass picking up 8.
Bring up 2nd down and 1.
And it'll bring up a 2nd down and short. Inside the red zone at the 16. Obviously, most productive drive of the first stanza. First drive with the first down. First drive getting inside the opposing team's territory. Pass incomplete over the middle to Uter. First trip into the red zone. And it'll bring up a third down and short. The home run ball from Miller, incomplete to Uter. So now maybe Bayside thinking about, if necessary, using a couple of plays to pick up the first on the ground. And here's that big bubble package with Neal in the backfield. But there is a timeout. And it will be charged to Bayside. And a reminder that our coverage tonight being brought to you by J. Allen Brown. J. Allen Brown, attorney at law, responsible for bringing you coverage, making a difference one case at a time. Thanks so much to J. Allen Brown for their coverage of Bayside Academy football.
Let's get a stop.
.30 seconds left to play in the opening stanza. It is third down and short, Bayside. Neal after the timeout, staying in the backfield, takes the snap directly, looks for a hole. He's got the first, and he's got more inside the 10. And it'll be first down and goal, Bayside. Knocking on the door in their third drive of the football game.
First and goal.
And with the play clock at 29 and the game clock at 19, that might be it for stanza number 1. And it looks like the Admiral's going to let time tick away. And we'll wrap up one with a scoreless game, but Bayside on the prowl.
Always get your Iron Bowl tickets. I'm going to have a giveaway. Those tickets are $20 each for a giveaway out at the panel shed.
We head to the opposite end of the football field. Opening quarter, 12 minutes of football, 20 minutes in real time. That was a quick first quarter. In large part due to the fact that Excel did not throw the football. And Bayside, until this drive, didn't throw it much. Neal staying in the backfield on a first and goal from the 6. And he will make his way back to the line of scrimmage. Stop there.
Number 8 on the keeper, tackled by Keandre Hill.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Gives you access not only to games, but shows and interviews and more. As a matter of fact, you may want to check out JUCO Rush if you keep up with junior college football. Brand new show talking about JUCO football and conversing with the #1 rusher in the NJCAA currently. Will Smith on the carry, and he'll be dropped near the 10. Loss of 4. And it is a 3rd and goal. Bo Miller checking back into the lineup for Bayside. On a 3rd down and 10. Yamani back in the backfield. And an official pulling out the yellow hanky and blowing the whistle. So let's see what the infraction is. Illegal procedure, Bayside, 5-yard mark off. So now 3rd and goal from the 15.
From the 15-yard line.
.10:39 to play in the opening half. Yamani in the backfield, Wilkinson and Parton to this side, Uter and Anderson to the other for Bo Miller. He'll drop back, strong rush, flushed out of the pocket, tucks it in, takes off, dropped at the original line of scrimmage, the 6.
Quarterback keeper tackled by Colby Sermon, brings up 4th and goal.
And that is going to result in a field goal try of right at 23 yards. Nathan Ivan will try to boot it through. I'm not sure what the conversation between he and the officials was. Well, there you see Ivan. There you see the target. It is officially 25 yards away. Kick up, and the kick is good.
The kick is good for Bayside.
25-yard Ivan field goal. And Bayside on the board at the 9:47 mark. Kick return from the 5. Bounces it to the outside, 20, 25, 30, and then McCann run out of bounds.
Andrew McCann, so a great return for the Panthers, brings it up to the 35-yard line, but they'll take over first and
So it'll be XL first down and 10 at the 35-yard line on the McCann return of 30 yards. Bayside getting a 25-yard Ivan field goal. Breaks the ice. Looking for more, though. Had a first down and goal at the 6. Just could not punch it in. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and make that a first down and 10. That is Darius Grace. He'll pick up a yard, maybe 2. Well, I don't know if all of the running is designed to kind of tuck in the corners and the safeties and in anticipation of the run and leave somebody open eventually, or if this is just their game plan. But even on a 3rd down and 21, they ran the football. So if that is what you're going to get out of Excel, Bayside can shift their focus. Only got a single receiver to this side on a 2nd down and a couple. And off to McCann. McCann across the 40 to the 43-yard line. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. This is probably the best 3rd down that Excel has had. Haven't picked up a first yet, but looking at a 3rd and 2 here. 8:23 left before halftime. And in the half, that conversation with Caleb Hall coming up. We'll recap the scoring too, but if things stay as is, we may not have a whole lot to talk about on the recap. McCann stepped out of the line of scrimmage. Needed 2, got none. It's 4th down. And you hear Excel saying punt. Let's see if anything of the trickery variety, like a fake, could be a possibility. As Grace gets ready to kick, Kane gets ready to receive. Kane standing at his 30. And Grace at his 30 on a 4th down and 2. And it looks like they will indeed kick it. Kane calling for the fair catch. He'll make it just inside the 30. And that is where it is 1st down and 10, Bayside Academy. Boy, got one of those quickly expiring stanzas again. Kind of like the first. Now, if he continues this way in the 3rd and 4th, where were these games all my life when I had like a Georgia military game to do the next day and get up in the wee hours of the morning? Tomorrow heading to Andalusia to do some baseball. We will have Georgia military college football, though. They will kick off at noon Central. Wilkinson in motion. Handoff given to Wilkinson. And he will gain 3, bringing up a 2nd down and 7.
Going to the right side. It's going to be tackled by Mason.
2nd down, 7:04 to play. Half number 1.
Bring up a 2nd down.
Middle of the handoff. And Yamani dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Run to the right side again. Gain. Loss of about a yard. RJ
It is a 3rd down and long. There have been 2 shutouts in this 18-game series, and XL was the team shut out in both instances. Miller to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. Looks. Fires downfield. Got a receiver open. It is caught by Uter. He'll shed himself of one would-be tackler. Makes his way into the end zone. Touchdown. 70-yard pass play.
Pass is complete to Miles Uter. Or Uter. I'm not sure it is.
And the Bayside Admirals grow the lead to 9, trying to make it 10. The success through the air thus far tonight has been to Miles Uter and that big pass play that eventually set up a field goal. And now the pass play that results in 6. Ivan's extra point try. It is good. Bayside by 10. Mo Miller connecting with Miles Uter on a 70-yard touchdown pass play, extra point kick good. Bayside by 10 as it's returned to the 21.
Andrew McCants on the return brings it out to the 20-yard line.
And that is where XL will take over first down and 10. Bayside trying to guarantee a home spot in postseason play. And a win tonight does that. A loss tonight by XL hurts. There is a Flomaton that still got a chance to get in mathematically. Inside 6 to play. Half number 1. And not a whole lot of running room for Darius Grace. Picked up 3, brings up a second down and 4. Make that a second and 6 after gain of 4. And XL still looking for their first down of the football game. Now better than 18 minutes into the contest. Little misdirection to the backfield. First pass of the football game. Got a receiver open and inside Bayside territory for the first time tonight. Well, there is your target. Caleb Plunkett hobbling off the field, but he's on the receiving end of the big pass play. And we were talking about it earlier. Is it possible you're running the football to bait a big-time throw? And Plunkett with the reception, first down of the football game and first trip inside Bayside territory. And now you see if the running game can be a little more effective because you spread that defense out a little more.
Johnson on the carry for a gain of about 6. They're second and 4.
Four and 20 left in the half. 38 yards away from Painter is XL. And if you put some points on the board, if you are XL before the clock sounds or the horn sounds in the first half, it's definitely a different looking game. Johnson with a carry. Gain of 3 brings up a 3rd and 1 in what is likely 4-down territory for XL. I was talking about Leroy Jordan, by the way. And if you watched football back in the 70s, well, 60s, 70s, that name very familiar. The story goes that when Leroy Jordan was spotted by Alabama, they were actually here to look at another player. Up the middle goes Stacy, and he'll pick up first. And I am assuming because Jimmy Dawson also signed with Alabama in '58. They were here to look at Jimmy Dawson and saw Leroy Jordan. And for those of you who keep up with football from years gone by, you know the rest of the story. Football at the 33. Johnson inside the 30. And finally wrestled down at the 26. And check that. That is McCants carrying the football for 6. Brings up a 2nd down and 4. 2:33 to go, half number 1. And there is a timeout on the field. It is asked for by Bayside.
Timeout on the field as we recognize our cheerleaders.
Well, Coach not particularly pleased with what has transpired since the long pass to Puckett. And now the football inside the 27. Again, a reminder, tonight's coverage brought to you by the law office of J. Allen Brown, making a difference one case at a time.
Round of applause for your cheerleaders. It's 2nd and 6 on the field, guys. Let's holler for the Panthers out there.
2nd down and 4, football on the 26. Deepest penetration of the night for Excel. McCants in the backfield, a whistle, a flag, and offsides, Bayside. That'll be a 1st down and 10 Excel.
That resulted in a 1st down Panthers.
So the ball moves to the red zone at the 20-yard line where it is 1st down and 10 for Excel. 2:22 to go, opening half. It is sent directly to McCants. McCants going to the right side, and he'll be drawn out of bounds after a gain of a yard or 2.
Andrew McCants on the run for a gain of 1 yard on the play.
And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 9. Football at the 19. Clock continuing to run. Looks like the Panthers, at least at this particular moment, are not concerned with necessarily trying to tie the game or take the lead. They want to get a score and then think about getting the rest of what they need in the 2nd half. That is picked off. It is Noah Kane. The pick on the drive. Stacy.
The pass is intercepted by Bayside.
Had the Panthers close, but throws the pick to Kane. And Bayside will thwart the most effective drive of the football game for Excel and bring it out to the 20-yard line. What a big break, big play for Bayside with the Panthers on the prowl. And Kane able to come up with the pick and hand it back over to the offense with an opportunity to run the rest of the half off the clock. It is an incomplete pass over to the sidelines. I mentioned a little nippy tonight, but in a rare moment of wisdom, brought my vest. So comfy up here outside of the press box. And again, thanks so much to Excel. As Bo Miller will find a little running room up the middle. And I think the official got in on that tackle inadvertently.
Run up the middle by the keeper. Tackled by Harden and Stacy. 3rd and 5.
And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. 1 minute, 15 seconds left to play in the half. .63 seconds to go, half number 1, 10-zip advantage, Bayside. Trying to do one of two things, or maybe a possibility of two. 2 of 2 they'd prefer. Score and run the clock out. But if they had to pick between one of the two, I think they'd probably rather in this moment to run the clock out. Incomplete pass will stop the clock with 40 seconds to play in the half. And Excel will have one more opportunity before heading into the locker room with McCants standing at his 40. Well, that'll don't see a kicker yet, but surely there's going to be one. And there he trots onto the field. Nathan Ivan trying to get his best kick of the night and, heck, the year. In an effort to pin XL back, it wobbles, but does take a wee bit of a Bayside bounce. And it'll make its way to the 49. That's where it is first down and 10 with 31 seconds left to play in the half. So Bayside, barring something miraculous, will take a lead into the locker room at halftime. The question is, will it be 10-0? Will it be 10-3? Will it be 10-7, 10-8? Still a lot of options. Or heck, you can get a pick and turn it for 6. How about a 17-zip score? Got to think positive, right? 31.8 seconds remaining in the half. Stacy to pass. Strong rush, able to avoid the rush, rolls to his left, and the pass is incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. Brings up a second down.
Second and 10 with 25 seconds left in the half. Big thank you to J. Allen Brown, to Jamie Ferguson, to David Kane, all the folks that make it possible to bring you coverage. And as I mentioned, last time we were here in 2021, there was no internet. And cell service was really puny. Back in 2024, and the cell service is still kind of puny, but there's internet here. Thank you very much, XL. Stacy pounding his way inside the 45, 43. And you'll get a timeout asked for by XL with 18.3 left in the half. $18 seconds remaining on a 3rd and 1. Stacy on the keeper. And he'll be dragged down for a loss of a yard.
Stacy on the left side, loss of about 1 yard.
And it'll bring up 4th down.
4th and 3 for your Panthers. 9 seconds left to go in the half.
And you got a timeout on the field. I did not see the indication as to who called the timeout. I'm wondering if it may have been Bayside on a 4th down. Probably not, because we do not anticipate a kick. We anticipate a go for it on 4th and short. .9 seconds remaining in the half. 4th down and 4. And XL looking to get 6 out of this last play, and they're not going to get it. .2 remaining. And let's see if Bayside Well, they are going to bring the, well, they pick up the first. And then trying to get the line of scrimmage. And 2-9. And Bayside will head into the locker room at halftime with a 10-zip advantage.
I'd like to thank our sponsors tonight for providing everything you have here at Excel, and that is Excel Assembly, Smith Sharon's Cakes, the Booth family, AJ.
So it is halftime, and at the half, Bayside Academy with a 10-zip advantage. When we come back, we will recap first half scoring and still part of our halftime. A conversation with Caleb Hall, wrestling coach and the director of facilities and maintenance at Bayside.
Schultz Insurance, South Alabama Kubota, Southside Package.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
It is halftime of the half, a 10-0 advantage. Bayside Academy, 9:47 to play in the first stanza. Ivan with a 25-yard field goal. Bayside takes a 3-zip lead. 6:02 to play in the second. It was Uter on the receiving end of a 70-yard pass play from Bo Miller. The extra point kick good at that point, and at the half, 6 minutes and 2 seconds later, it's 10-zip. Bayside with a lead in a game that would guarantee a home playoff spot. But Excel still looking to make the playoffs, trying to turn things around in half number 2. Halftime, Bayside Academy up by 10. Well, again, a thank you to the law office of J. Allen Brown, making our coverage tonight possible. Making a difference, one case at a time. And a reminder, too, more sports coming up, like tomorrow. Georgia Military College taking on Andrew College. Scott McLeod on the coverage. That's a noon Central kickoff. Tomorrow and Sunday, fall baseball at LBW in Andalusia. Starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. Volleyball, if that's your cup of tea. Some good volleyball coming up on the 22nd, LBW and Coastal Alabama South. And then, of course, the big one next Friday night, 7 o'clock, T.R. Miller. And it's Freedom Field for a matchup with Bayside Academy, and we'll have it for you right here on JockJive. A conversation with Caleb Hall. It is now 90 seconds away. Just about all white. Jones County diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Great to have with us as our halftime guest, Caleb Hall, who is the wrestling coach at Bayside Academy, director of facilities and maintenance. Caleb, great to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I always like to, on those first conversations, get some input, some background, some bio on, in this particular case, Caleb Hall. So, you know, it's that Southern tradition. Where are you from? And what brought you to Bayside?
Okay, so I was born in Indiana and then raised in the Chicago suburbs. Wrestling's a pretty big deal out there, so that's what I did during the winter. When it's 0 degrees outside, you really prefer to stay inside. From there, I went into the Marine Corps. I spent 8 years on active duty, 1 year in the reserves. And then while I was in, I was also a Marine Corps martial arts instructor, so I kind of kept up with that wrestling MMA background there. And then started coaching club out in California with a youth program. We also had some high schoolers involved. And then once I got out of the military, we ended up moving out here to Alabama, got involved with a club over here, and then became the high school coach at Bayside.
So now what directly got you to Bayside? I mean, California to Alabama, that's a long move.
Yeah, we started off in the Daphne School District, and you know, my son was doing very well academically, so we looked for somewhere that was going to challenge him a little bit more. And we found that, you know, Bayside was one of the more prestigious private schools in the area. So we decided to give it a try. And once we got involved in the community, everybody was very supportive. Everybody was very, culture, similar culture mindset. And so we just really enjoyed it and decided to send him here.
So the move to Bayside was for the children to begin with, and then you becoming the wrestling coach and involved at the faculty there came later?
Yes. So my son actually transferred to Bayside before I was the wrestling coach here and before I was hired on staff here.
So the pursuit of the job as wrestling coach, did you learn of a vacancy or did they learn about you?
A little bit of both. There was a change in leadership there at the coaching staff, and some things had happened, and the spot opened up, and it was actually supposed to only be a temporary position. I was going to fill the spot until they had found somebody, but it seemed just to be a good fit, so they ended up keeping me here, and I'm really grateful to be here. I love working with the kids and being involved in the wrestling program.
Well, see, Coach, here's what you get for being so darn good at what you do. I got to go back for a minute, though. You mentioned a suburb of Chicago. Now, I'm familiar with Glen Ellen in the Chicago area. Is that in the vicinity of where you were at?
So I was in St. Charles. I went to high school, St. Charles East, probably a 45-minute drive from Glen Ellen. Schaumburg and Naperville are some other big cities in that area that a lot of people are familiar with. So Geneva and Batavia were the surrounding cities right there, and we were about 45 minutes northwest of Chicago.
What about the adjustment to a much smaller culture, from a municipality standpoint? I mean, obviously, it is huge in Chicago and very small, comparatively speaking, in the Daphne area.
Yeah, it is. I mean, wrestling itself, when I graduated high school, there was about 16,000 wrestlers in the state of Illinois in high school. Alabama, I think we just broke 4,000. Women's wrestling is growing very rapidly. When I was in high school, again, there was maybe one on every 10 teams that you would run into. Now they have full girls lineups and full girls teams. They have their own state championships. So, the culture is, it's growing a lot. And, being at Bayside, I mean, obviously our numbers are smaller than what I was used to. So you have to put a lot more effort into, talking to the kids that are going to school, seeing if they're interested in it, kind of explaining what wrestling is and what it looks like, just because it is so much newer down here in the South. I mean, the Bayside program, I think we're on our 4th year right now for wrestling. So it's a very new sport to a lot of people down here.
Does the wrestling at Bayside also include female wrestling?
Yes, it does. We currently have one on the team that competed last year, and we have, I think, one joining us this year. So the interest is starting to grow, and I think that it'll continue to do so.
Is that a different dynamic? I mean, from a coaching perspective, is it different coaching a female wrestler versus a male, or are the techniques and everything basically the same?
The techniques are pretty much the same. I mean, every wrestler has individual tendencies and styles. So, when I'm coaching, it's not, this is the way you're supposed to wrestle and you have to wrestle the way I think you should. I try and teach a variety of different styles and see what they identify with the most. And then we can kind of do a deep dive onto that once they've identified that. And it's the same thing with the girls wrestlers. I mean, they're going to find their own style, and, coaching them is pretty similar. So I wouldn't say that it's really that challenging.
All right, I'm about to, I'm going to unveil how little I know about wrestling. From a technique perspective, does a wrestler adapt to the coach's technique, or do you see something in the wrestler that you develop a technique that's specific to them?
I would say a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, you have some kids that are very fast twitch, very explosive. And with those kids, there's a little bit more of a hard-nosed style that they can identify with. If you've got a kid that's a little bit slower, a little bit less athletic, you're going to kind of tailor it to, their body type and their athleticism. I do a lot to try and increase the level of athleticism of all the wrestlers. We're this year going to be adding a little bit of yoga into it. We've got some gymnastics coming in. We're doing weight training. We do a lot of strength and conditioning with calisthenics and cardio, and you've got to be very well-rounded. So the more athletic you are, the easier it is to apply the techniques. But based on, some genetic tendencies or where we're starting at with a certain individual, they will have certain moves that will, fit better to their body and to their style.
A lot of athletes in Bayside Academy are multi-sport athletes. Have you found that an athlete in another particular sport, say football, say basketball, whatever, tends to make a better wrestler?
I kind of find the opposite. I find that the earlier on somebody starts wrestling, the better they become at their other sports. There's a lot of back and forth between wrestling and football. They're very complementary sports. Both sports are, pretty physical. They're very hands-on. So I find that those kind of go hand in hand. Although I've got some soccer players that are good wrestlers, and, I don't know, aside from just the athleticism that's required in wrestling, if there's any particular sport that translates better into wrestling. I do find that people who start off in gymnastics or maybe cheerleading and have some tumbling experience do really well, just because they have that really high level spatial awareness, which translates incredibly well into wrestling.
Does wrestling also require a certain academic or mental acuity? I mean, to me, psychology plays a role in any sport. How much is that true in wrestling?
100%. That's one of the biggest factors. It's, I tell people wrestling is almost like playing chess, but with your body. In chess, you can't just be very apparent about every move that you're going to do. You have to have some level of subtlety and be able to set somebody up for something. And it's the same thing in wrestling. For every move, there's, a counter for that. And you have to be able to set people up. And it's all just split-second reaction time. So, the more cerebral you are about it, the more you can, kind of play with it in your mind of how things can work together. And, in our practices, we do a lot to try and build those neural connections where it's not just teaching a move, but it's teaching them in a series or a sequence of how things can tie together, and then showing them, hey, this is just an example of how some of these things can tie together. But there's, almost an infinite combination of ways that you can put things together to be able to set somebody up for something and, look like you're going for one thing and it really puts you into a different technique. And that's really where the high level wrestling starts coming in.
Where wrestling is concerned, obviously there is wrestling at the collegiate level. At a professional level, is there a professional level of wrestling? And I'm not talking what is it, whatever it is, the kind of more Hollywood type wrestling, but a collegiate style wrestling, is there a professional level to that? And how far can an athlete go in that athleticism?
So, unfortunately, it's not like football and basketball where there's a professional organization where you can go out and make a ton of money doing it. You can really just go to the world team or the Olympic team at a high level. What we're seeing right now is the jiu-jitsu community is really exploding right now. So a lot of collegiate wrestlers and high-level wrestlers are transferring over into jiu-jitsu and MMA. So MMA, UFC would be like the closest translation into something professional. Majority of all people who have held UFC title belts have come from a wrestling background. There's, Bo Nickel, Daniel Cormier. I mean, there's a lot of names that you could go on and on about their collegiate wrestling experience. But, the Olympics, the world team, switching over into jiu-jitsu, getting involved in UFC, MMA, that's really where it stops.
What do you want out of your team in this upcoming season? I mean, what's a winning year for you personally?
I think for everybody to continue to grow. I mean, I use wrestling as a means to an end for character development. I think it's a very easy way to do it because it's a one-on-one sport, because it's very personal, because it's high contact, it's an emotional sport. So I think that there's a lot of things that translate into positive character development. So my number one goal is how can I use wrestling to teach them, how to be better people. And then after that, it would be, making them fall in love with the sport. If I've got a kid that, doesn't win a whole lot, but they absolutely love wrestling, they'll get a lot farther than a kid that's naturally talented just because they're going to obsess over it. And then outside of that, it's just constantly growing from week to week. So we look for kind of systemic issues in the team and then individual issues as far as, the winning and losing comes. So if the team is losing and they're all losing in the same way, then I can reevaluate what we're teaching. And if they're only losing because of, that one person is losing because of this reason, then we can go over that. But as long as they're growing and they're learning, I think that it's pretty successful. I mean, I do have pretty high expectations for how we're going to compete at the individual and the team level this year. We should have more wrestlers on our roster. We had a lot of wrestlers wrestle in the off season. Some of them have gone to their first national tournaments, so they're getting higher level exposure. So, I have pretty high, expectations for what they can achieve as far as like a performance standpoint. But I think that all comes secondary to everything else.
Do all of the team wrestlers come to you, or are you ever walking down the hallways of Bayside Academy and you look at somebody and can you spot that somebody that should be wrestling?
So, yeah, it's probably a joke within the students, but at Bayside, I'm constantly talking to all the students, seeing if they're interested in it. I don't necessarily just want somebody who's a physical specimen. I want somebody who, may not identify with any other sport or may not be tall enough or strong enough to be seen as, a traditional basketball player or wrestler, because, we've got weight classes and you can be, 100 pounds and you can be 280 pounds and you can wrestle. So we fit every body type. We fit every kid. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from. I've got a variety of different body types and different backgrounds on the team. So I'll really take anybody and teach them how to wrestle if they want to learn. So there's not a specific type of individual that I'm looking for to join the team. But I do talk to just about everybody on this campus and see if they've been interested or thought about it before.
Before I let you go, you also are the director of facilities and maintenance. What does that entail?
So we've got a lot of big projects going on right now. We've got a new middle school being built, so trying to help, navigate some of the different things that the general contractors are doing, whether that's dealing with, moving transformers or natural gas pipes. We did a lot of summer projects this year. We painted our field house. We painted our stadium railings. We worked with our sound system. So a lot of the big projects like that. And then we also do some event setup. We've got Grandparents' Day right now that we just set up for. And then just routine maintenance tasks. So I've got a maintenance staff with me that, they'll operate on a daily basis, trying to knock out stuff that needs to be done on campus, whether that's, dealing with an HVAC that's got issues or, maybe even a toilet that's clogged or something like that. So they do pretty much all the general routine maintenance stuff around the campus as well.
Well, Coach, it sounds like you were wrestling with a lot of different things there at Bayside Academy. The wrestling coach, the director of facilities and maintenance, and our halftime guest tonight, Coach Caleb Hall. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back as we get second half action underway in a 10-0 ball game. Excel will kick it off. It is a relatively short kick, returned from the 25. And Bayside will bring it out to about the 30-yard line, and that is where things get started for the Admirals. Well, I'm going to try again. I'm going to attempt once more to do a little more multitasking. That is take your shout-outs in the third stanza. You got a number attached to your scoreboard, and it is 334-488-1385. You know by now, I mean, I've mentioned doing camera, little graphics, little play-by-play. Heck, let's throw in some shout-outs. We want you to be able to cheer cyberly. Is cyberly a word? Well, it is now. We want you to be able to cheer cyberly. And you can do it by texting 334-488-1385. There is an injury, by the way, to Keelan Stacy. So he is now out of the game. Sam Cunningham, who is out and then was replaced by Keelan Stacy, his replacement, is now out of the ball game. So banged up Bayside squad is a little bit more banged up after the loss of Keelan Stacy. 2nd down and 8. Opening drive of the second half. Bayside with the 10-zip lead, a 25-yard field goal and a 70-yard pass play. Not a whole lot of yardage on the toss to Wilkinson. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Football at the 35-yard line. Opening drive of half number 2. Shout out to Will Pettis from Grandpa in Joplin, Missouri. Great job, JockJive. Well, thank you. And J. Allen Brown. Thank you, definitely, J. Allen Brown. We appreciate him so much for making our coverage possible tonight. Third down. Give goes to Yamani. Yamani, he's going to pick up the first down. Bounced into the outside and got enough for the first. Needed 4, squeaked out 5. And it'll be a first down. Way to go, Billy, from Will Hughes. Shout out to Amos McDaniel and Charlie Merchant. Lank, go Bayside students. Incomplete pass.
The pass is incomplete.
Trying to get it into the flats to Bo Anderson. And the incomplete pass will bring up a second down and 10. Football at the 42-yard line. Shout out to Miles from Graham and Tyler in the Big D. Thank you very much. From Dallas. Sending a shout out to Miles, who made a heck of a catch earlier. Miller wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know if that was a busted play, had a look of a bust. Yamani, the trailing back to pitch to, but Miller wrapped up and loses yardage back to the 39, where it is third down and 12. Opening drive, half number 2. Miller to pass, drops back, looks, floats it over to Yamani, and Yamani will be dropped immediately, a loss of a couple of yards. And it'll bring up a fourth down and long, and Bayside forced into a punting situation on their opening drive of the football game. Half number 2, by the way, obviously. We're not at, 8:15 in the evening into the opening drive of the game altogether. Half number 2. Shout out to number 66, Will Allen, Papa, Ray Ray, and Coco in Jasper, Alabama. Fairly short kick, but it will take a Bayside roll to the 31. And that's where it is first down and 10. Shout out says, hope y'all win tonight. Go Admirals, from Marion Smith and Janie Hicks. Thanks, Marion and Janie. Hey, this is Ty Ferguson, Jamie Ferguson, Kristen Ferguson, and Annabelle Miller chilling here, watching from Tilted Towers. Thanks, Ty, and all the Fergusons. It's a little chilly tonight here in XL. A little breeze is kicked up too. Got here earlier, it was chilly with no breeze. It's chilly with a breeze. Running room and out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Anthony Hayes on the carry. And the Panthers will be the first to pick up a first down in the second half. Well, I was bragging about my wisdom where the chilliness was concerned in bringing the vest. I think I should have brought a little more, so my wisdom already questioned. Hayes on the carry, and he will be snuffed out after a gain of a yard.
Hayes on the run again for a gain of 2 yards to 3 yards. 3 yards. Second and 7.
We'll give him 2 on the carry, second and 8. Football out to the 48-yard line. 8:03 to play, quarter number 3. In a 10-zip game, both scores came in the second stanza for Bayside. A field goal of 25 yards, and the pass play, Miller to Uter. Next week, T.R. Miller and Bayside. Last week, it was Bayside and XL. I make that T.R. Miller and XL. Wow, Hayes just hammered. Got a yard. That was about it. It'll bring up a third down and long. And it was a 36-zip T.R. Miller win over XL last week. But a banged-up Bayside trying to get to that T.R. Miller game unbeaten in region play. Looking at a 3rd down and 6 for Excel. Football is just shy of midfield. McCants on the carry to this side. And he will be stuck at the 48. It looked like he had the first, and then all of a sudden, here came a white jersey. And it is 4th down and 2. And it appears as though the Panthers will go for it on a 4th and a couple. Football at the 47. You get to the 45, a little bit inside the 45, and you got the first. Excel going for it. Big 4th down here early in the 3rd. And he is going to pick up the first inside the 45. That was Hayes on the carry. So Excel picking up the first to the 44-yard line. Sticks move. It was Bayside that scored first in the first half. Excel tried to do the same at half number 2. First down and 10. On the keeper, that is Stacy. And Stacy will pound his way down to the 35. Shout out to my Pookie Bear from your secret admirer with the, is that melting hearts emoji? Shout out Monroe from the Smith family. Shout out to Monroe Parton from Mimi and Pop in Orange Beach, Alabama. Second, we'll call him 2. Football at the 37. It is Stacy again on the keeper. Got a big seam. He's got a first, and he's got more. First down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Shout out Adam Brinks for his 12th birthday. Happy 12th to Adam. First down and 10, Excel of the 26 of Bayside. Inside 5 minutes to play in the 3rd. Bouncing into the outside is Grace, and Grace will be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Based on all the time this drive is consuming, this is big for Excel, big for Bayside to try to get the stop. And if you can stop them from scoring a drive that consumes a lot of the half, then you like where you're at going into the 4th. Loss of a couple brings up a 2nd down and 12. Football back to the 28. And as Hayes again on the carry, and he will make his way to about the 24 and got the 2 yards back, lost and gained 1. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 9. And one would assume it is 4-down territory. That might not be true. Don't know the range of the field goal kicker for Excel. If you don't pick up first here, then you're looking at something just outside of 30 yards, field goal wise. 3rd down and 9. Stacy dropped it. Able to get it back, but had to fall on it. And Will Allen fell on him. And oh, wait a minute. I don't see the pigskin in his midst. It is Bayside that comes up with it. Boy, from this vantage point, it looked like Stacy had lost it and got back on it, but Bayside apparently coming up with a loose ball and a huge turnover on a drive that consumed so much time off the clock. And now Bayside really wants to feel good, then put together a drive that put some points on the board going into the 4th. Shout out says Davey Wisey watching on my phone from Antarctica, my little nephew Keelan Stacy. Well, thank you very much for watching from Antarctica. Yamani on the carry. He's got the first. He's got more. 20-yard Yamani gain. Yamani's best carry since coming back from the injury. And the football at the 42-yard line. Shout out to Warren Johnson from Mimi and Papa. Shout out Charlie Merchant and Roll Tie and Roll. Shout out to Big Miles Uter. Shout out Admirals from Uncle Tom and Aunt BJ from Lenore City in Tennessee. Good to hear from Lenore. I think that is, if I'm not mistaken, on your way to Knoxville. Kind of in the Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm trying to think of that other little community in the area. First down and 10. Football at the 42. And I'll give it again to Yamani. Yamani will pick up 2, maybe 3. And it'll bring up a second down and long. And Bayside looking for positive yardage and a ticking clock. 2:17 to play in the third. And my, how much more comfortable it would be for Bayside if you could punch it out to a 3-score lead going into the fourth. Fake to Parton. Miller. He'll fire now long, and it is picked off the deflection. Off the deflection, the pick. And there have been 2 Panther turnovers. There's the first Admiral one. There is a penalty flag. And let's see if there's additional yardage tacked on. They're pointing over towards the area where the tackle took place. Did it take place out of bounds and they call it a late hit, or was there another infraction? Well, it was going to be charged to the Panthers.
Well, blindside block against Excel.
So it'll be charged to the Panthers. Panthers march back to the 25. And it'll be first down and 10. Good news is the infraction was charged to the Panthers. The bad news is pick still stands. Miller trying to air it out, coming up short. And actually his receiver had come back to get it. And it just bounced off the chest. Pick made off the deflection. And it is first down and 10. XL. 1:45 to go in the third. Got that student body right. And a gain of 4, close to 5 on a first down carry. Brings up a second and 5.
Andrew McCann's on the run for 5 yards. Gonna be second down.
Shout out to cousin Charlie Merchant from your cousins in Potter's Mill. Shout out to Leighton Angermeyer. Shout out says, my buddy Mark is getting married. Please congratulate. Okay, congratulations, Mark. Watching from Fairhope. I believe that was Haynes on the carry. And he will pick up
AJ Hayes on the carry.
about a yard or 2, brings up a 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3.
Shout out to Nathan Ivan, the Belgian bomber from the Fish Camp. Another shout out that says, go Admirals. Luke Warner. USNA Rabat, Morocco. Third down, we'll call it 3. 22 seconds remaining in the third. And I don't think he's got enough for the first. It will depend upon the spot. Boy, that's close. And he does have the first. First and 10, football on the 35. Shout out to Coach Trotter from Uncle Mike and Aunt Christy in Cloudland, Georgia. Coach Trotter showing that Roman domination, gotta love it. Bandy from Birmingham. We're through 3, and headed to the 4th. Go Bayside. The Vols are going to lose tomorrow, tied by 90. Okay, tied might win it. I'm sure it will be by 90. Hey, thanks for the shout-outs as we head to the 4th. We head into the 4th, first and 10. Football at the 35-yard line. And that is Stacy on the carry. He will pick up 4. Second down and 6. All right, a couple of more shout-outs. I know we said we'd do it in the 3rd, but, if you make the rules, you get to break them. Shout-out to Eli Boswell, number 68. Shout-out to Amos McDaniel from his mom and Big Sissy, watching from Fairhope. Shout out to Coach Trotter. We love you, Dan, Roman, and Strat. Yeah, thanks for the shout outs. 4th stanza action in a game that is not comfortable yet. McCants, they give him his forward progress. Wow, that's a pretty big forward progress out to about the 42, where it'll be 3rd down and a couple. I have not checked to see the temperature currently. When you're from the south, it's chilly and the wind's blowing. You think it is like, 35. I don't think it's 35, it's 58. Oh, it feels so much cooler than 58. 2nd and a couple. Hayes on the carry. And I think he has pounded his way for the first or very close to it. Let's see what the officials say. Just pick up the first, he did. Boy, they just nudge out enough. On 2 consecutive 3rd downs to pick up the first. And it is 1st down and 10 at the 45. Two-score game, Panthers trying to make it a 1-score contest. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line in the 4th. Big stop there by Neal. Boy, that had Grace hopping up, shaking his head. But a gain of 5 on a 1st down carry. And it is 2nd down. We'll call it 6. Looks like they've spotted it back to the 49. And it is 2nd down and 6. 9:37 to go in the game. And there is a timeout on the field. It is asked for by XL. 9.5 to go. Bayside by 10. Panthers with the football. 9:30 to play in the football game. 2nd down and 6. A lot of running room for McCants. He'll pick up the first. Down to the 41. Well, I understand Sam Cunningham watching the ball game tonight. How you doing, Sam? I know you'd rather be here playing. He'll be back, I understand, a week from tonight against T.R. Miller. And, of course, Sam's replacement, Keelan Stacy, with the injury and not here now. Taken to an area medical facility for x-rays on the shoulder. Bad snap. And Stacy will fall on it back at the 46. That is a loss of near 15. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 25. 8 minutes, 40 seconds left to play in the football game. There has been in this series a 3-0 win. And the meeting, as I mentioned, between these two, the 18 prior, the 19th meeting tonight, is the longest series for Bayside. The longest series for Excel is an 83-game series with J.U. Blackshear.
That's going to be 3rd and...
Well, it is 3rd and plenty. A lot of green grass between where the football sits currently and where the football's got to be to pick up the first at the 32 of Bayside. A big 3rd down play here with 8 minutes to play in the football game. Bayside does not want to give up the big play and even make it a 4th and manageable. And Stacy will get to the 44, gains 3. And it is going to be 4th down and a lot, and Stacy is injured. Very slow getting up. And he is going to come off the field on a 4th down. On the kick is Grace, to receive is Kane. On a 4th down and just under 30. The Grace kick. Kane lets it drop. It will take a Panther roll down to the 24. And that is where Bayside will take over. 1st down and 10 with 7 minutes, 2 ticks left on the game clock. Well, a reminder next week, back home to Freedom Field. T.R. Miller coming to town. Huge ball game for Bayside. But at the moment, they're not thinking about T.R. Miller. They'll do that in about 7 minutes or so. By the way, I will not be there Friday night. Jason Thompson will be on the call for that big region matchup. Over the middle, wide open is Wilkinson with a fake to Yamani, a foot race towards the end zone. Wilkinson brought down to the 20. Wow, what a big gutsy play, Bayside. Working on the element of surprise, thinking they would run the football and run the clock off with at least some time off of it. With 7:02 to go in the game, and what do? They find Wilkinson on the big pass play down to the 23. Yamani on the carry. And he'll get inside the 20. There is a penalty flag. And I think the official just indicated hold. Let's see. Yep, there it is. So a 10-yard mark off from the point of infraction. .6:39 to play. And don't forget, tomorrow, Georgia Military College and Andrew College. Scott McLeod on the call. I'll hand to Andalusia Showcase Series baseball for the next couple of days at LBW. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Miller with a fake to Yamani on the keeper. And he will make his way inside the 20 near the 16. So Miller able to get all the penalty yardage back and then some. It is 2nd down and 5. And let's see if it's too early for clock management. I guess so. Right now, Bayside focused on putting points on the board. And I'll give it to Yamani, and Yamani tripped up, caught from behind after a gain of a couple.
That run is stopped by Caden Lee. Brings up 3rd and 5.
And it'll be a 3rd down. I would think this is 4-down territory. A field goal would not extend it to a 3-score game. Still would keep it at 2 scores. So I would assume if you don't pick it up on a 3rd and 5, you go for it, but we'll see. Miller to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. Looks, fires. Incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. Bring up 4th down.
And it'll bring up a 4th down. And at the moment, it does not look like Nathan Ivan is trotting onto the field, so they will indeed go for it on a 4th down and 6. Inside the 20, Yamani in the backfield. Got Wilkinson to one side, Anderson to the other. 5 minutes, 3 seconds left to play in the football game. Miller to pass. Fires towards the end zone. It is incomplete, intended for Miles Uter.
And that's a 4th down stop for your Panthers. They'll take back over 1st and 10.
So it is a 1st down and 10 for the Panthers. And there's 4 minutes and 56 seconds left to play in the football game. You've got to score twice in that 4:56 if you are the Panthers. Now, to this moment, 3.5 quarters in, Panthers have been far more of a long, sustained drive type offense. It does look like that Mason Goldman has come in at quarterback. Stacy apparently, who went out injured, not back into the game yet. Kentz, he will be brought down after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Andrew McCann's on the run, and about 2 yards. We're going to 2nd and 8.
2nd down and 8. I said it was 58 degrees. Let's see what it feels like. I got a feeling it's still not going to feel like 35, though it does to me. Got that student body left this time. And on the carry was Williams. And it'll bring up a 3rd down. 58 and feels like 54. Okay, I could have sworn 35. Running to the opposite side, and Bayside's defense tightening. It is 4th down. And really the decision for Excel already made. 3 minutes and 46 seconds left to play in the football game. I can't imagine that you're going to kick it away. I know that you're only down by 10, but that's still 2 scores. But at the moment, it looks like they will. And Kane will drift back to receive. And you're looking at the possibility of ending the ball game if you don't fake it here and try to pick up the first. Ending the ball game with it in the hands of Bayside. But they do indeed kick. And McCain drops it. Did he get it back? Panthers say they've got it. Bayside yet to indicate. Officials haven't done anything yet, and now they do. Say it is Bayside football, and I think there's the gentleman we got to thank. Berg Brown falls on it, the 47.
Bayside will take over first and 10.
The scoreboard does not indicate how many timeouts are left per team. But I have to admit, I am surprised they kicked the football. 3:46 to play the football game. I realize it was, kind of a make or break play. Now Bayside's got the football, and if you pick up a first or two, the game's over. Parton on the carry. He'll be dropped at the 34. A flag comes in late. Actually, a couple of flags. So let's see what the infractions are about after the Parton carry down to the 37-yard line. And you got a holding. Charge to Bayside. Was that for both flags? Apparently 2 Bayside holds. So the holding infraction that was furthest back is the point of infraction it is marked from. Line of scrimmage, midfield. Well, here's the 1+, though. I mean, you don't want the hold and to go the other way, but you did get some time taken off the clock. 3:04 left to play. First down and 13. Bayside, 2 shutouts this year. Wouldn't mind picking up another. And now you got a whistle. And let's see if you got a false start. That's a lot of times what we see here. And we do. 5-yard mark off. It'll be a first and now 17. Ball back to the 45-yard line.
First and 17.
Bayside's defense has 19 total shutouts in, about 20-plus years of football. They've got 3 of those. Well, if they pick one up tonight, they would then have 20. Got the end around, and here comes Miller. Make that Anderson with a Miller block, and Anderson down to the 24. A little trickery on the part of Bayside as Anderson. Bo gets a block from Bo. But there's a flag. And there is a hold. And it is charged to Bayside. Well, again, the positive news is time runs off the clock. The not so positive news is the line of scrimmage is the 45, where it was about to be the 26. 2:11 to go. And it is first down and 9. And the clock begins to roll again. We get inside a couple of minutes to play. Handoff given to Yamani. And Yamani hammered to the turf at the 38. After a gain of 6. And it'll be second down and a couple. Football at the 39. With 90 seconds left to play in the football game. And now you got a Bayside that likely is going to begin to work on clock management. 1:19 to go in the game. Play clock at 14. It'll get down to single digits. And barring a turnover, XL may not get the ball back. Billy Neal battling his way down to the 29. He'll pick up the first, and well, that should do it for Bayside. Now all they got to do is put a knee to turf once, and the ball game's over, and they've wrapped up a home playoff game. First round of postseason. Worst case, they play a 3 seed. Best case, they play a 4 as the first round of postseason. T.R. Miller coming up. And there's that victory formation. Shouldn't take one snap, and that'll do it. There's the snap. And there is your football game. Time still ticking off, but no need to snap the football again. And a banged-up Bayside wins this one.
We want to thank our sponsors one more time.
Third shutout of the year. And Bayside will improve to 8-1 on the year in region play. They will go to 5-0. Still in the hunt is XL. But now they've got to win everything going out and might need a little help along the way. Mathematically still in the hunt. Bayside is into the postseason, which that already happened. But now they are into the postseason with at least one home playoff game. Let's leave with a shout out. Shout out to Palmer. Let's go. Grammy and partner, Bayside, Dave Engermeyer. Hey, thanks so much. Bayside has won, and thanks for watching the coverage. And again, thanks so much to all of the folks week in, week out that make our coverage possible. And on this given week, it is J. Allen Brown, the law office, making it possible, making a difference, one case at a time. The law office of J. Allen Brown, exclusively responsible for coverage of Bayside Academy XL football on a chilly Friday night in XL. Thanks so much for watching. For all the folks from Bayside Academy and JockJive, I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.
And Joe Birch Photography, Brooks Glass,